They thought they destroyed it all. Every document, every email, every piece of Russian evidence, that Russia hoax. Yeah, well, you know, it was all a coup attempt, right? But someone at the FBI forgot to take out the trash. And now Kash Patel has discovered a secret room that nobody in oversight even knew existed. Inside, thousands of documents stuffed in burn bags ready for destruction. We're not talking about routine paperwork here. This is the smoking gun, the classified annex to the Durham report, the communications that name and expose the whole conspiracy. The deep state's darkest secret just got dragged into the light, so stay with me. Now, you probably think your 401k is safe, but it wasn't designed to make you wealthy. It was built to shift retirement costs and risks onto you, leaving your savings exposed to crashes, inflation, and chaos. But Americans are waking up and taking control with real assets like gold. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands secure their future by converting part of their 401k into a tax-advantaged gold IRA without penalties or headaches. It's safe, it's simple, and it's smart. Visit nextnewsgold.com to get your free wealth protection kit and discover how to safeguard your savings. Open a qualified account today and receive 2 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful coins absolutely free. That's nextnewsgold.com, your exit from the danger zone. Remember, when you give Colin a call at 877-646-5347, just tell him Gary Franchi sent you. Okay, so this is really huge news. President Trump already reacting. He's asked about the Russiagate burn bags, and he gets confused, though, because he thought the reporter said Patel appointed a man named Burnbag, and then seemingly gets confused and then rambles about the Epstein files. That's from Fact Post. That's how they frame this. Well, let's listen in.
Kash Patel reportedly found burn bags of Russiagate materials, and we'd love to get your thoughts on that.
He said what?
Burn bags of Russiagate materials that FBI supposedly found.
I don't know that. I don't know what you mean by that statement. Say
bags full of Russiagate documents.
Oh, burn bag. I thought you said appointed a man named Burn Bag. Go ahead. You got to speak up.
Thousands of documents in these bags, supposedly burn bags at the FBI in the secret room.
Well, I want everything to be shown. You know, as long as it's fair and reasonable, I think it will be shown and it should be shown. And I think he feels that way, and I think Pam feels that way. But it's got to be, it's got to be stuff that really doesn't hurt people unfairly, because you have so many people involved, and if they can do that in a fair way, I think it's great. I think it's really great. The whole thing is a scam. It's a scam set up by the Democrats, and they love talking about it. But I would like to see people exposed that might be bad, and we'll see how that all works out. But it's getting to be very old news. You know, if they had anything, they would have done it the week before the election, because they were losing by a lot. If they had anything, they would have done it. They control the file.
So clearly he misheard the question and thought that she was referring to Epstein, but she did say burn bags, Kash Patel, and Russiagate. So it could have been bad audio in the room. He just misunderstood her. So I'm sure he will be asked that question again, and we're going to be able to get a definitive answer. But let's go a little bit deeper now. Here is Matt Gaetz talking about it.
Officials did the way they want to write history is that January 6th was this great attempted coup, but the real attempted coup was December 9th, after Donald Trump shocked the world, beat Hillary Clinton. Obama decides he has to discredit Trump. He assembles his national security team. They, I think, probably fess up at some point that the letter from the 51 intelligence officials didn't work. The lies that others had sort of weaved together to try to make Trump look like an asset of the Russian government. None of that tradecraft had worked. And so now what they were going to do is lash the dossier that they already knew to be subsourced by Russian intelligence, that they already knew was assembled by a foreign spy who hated Trump. They were going to take that dossier and lash it to an intelligence community work product. And when this unprecedented thing happened, there were regular folks at the CIA, patriotic Americans, who stood up and said, no, this is not acceptable to include in anything that we would put our imprimatur on. The way they want.
Now, wait till you see this. We actually have video of one of the authors of the Mueller report, and she is a total moron. I'm going to play the clip for you, but first I want to give you the backstory on what just broke today. Sean Davis, Russian collusion hoaxers secretly stashed thousands of incriminating Russiagate documents in burn bags used to store classified documents prior to their permanent destruction, including the 200-page annex to former special counsel John Durham's report that was given to the Biden AG, Merrick Garland. Here's the headline. Patel found thousands of sensitive Trump-Russia probe docs inside burn bags in a secret room at the FBI. Here's an excerpt. One of the documents FBI officials found in a burn bag was the classified annex to former special counsel John Durham's final report, which includes underlying intelligence that he reviewed. The declassification of the classified annex is being done in close coordination between CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Patel, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Acting National Security Agency Director William Hartman. This is huge news happening right now. Let's see. We've got, okay, so who was that FBI hero, Amuse writes, that saved thousands of classified Russiagate documents from destruction? The prior regime put thousands of classified documents in burn bags, but an unknown hero moved them to a secret room in the Hoover building before it could be burned. Turns out there are a few good men or women at the FBI after all. According to FBI Director Kash Patel, thousands of classified Trump-Russia investigation documents were found in burn bags in a secret room in the Hoover building. Someone had intended for the evidence to be destroyed, but it appears that someone else decided to intervene and save the documents for posterity. Patel has turned over the documents to the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley. One of the documents found in a burn bag was previously unseen classified annex to former special counsel John Durham's final report. Do you want to see this woman? Well, let's check. I'm going to show you this, the woman who wrote the freaking Mueller report. You guys are going to laugh. This was posted 6 hours ago by Big Fish, a clip from Joe Rogan with Kash Patel. And it says it's all going to come out. Kash Patel on Joe Rogan telling about former FBI Director Comey's secret room being uncovered. Now Fox News reporting sees burn bags held key evidence. Listen.
Okay, go arrest him. Me, as the director of the FBI, the former Russiagate guy, when I first got to the Bureau, found a room that Comey and others hid from the world in the Hoover building, full of documents and computer hard drives that no one had ever seen or heard of. Locked the key and hid access and just said, no one's ever going to find this place.
What?
Yeah. So my guys are going through that right now.
What's in there?
A lot of stuff. I mean, that's the thing. People are like, well, okay, go arrest him. And I'm like, okay, well, how about you let me run a methodical investigation? Me as the director of the FBI.
I think we need to arrest him. There you have Kash Patel right there talking about what he discovered. Now here, Hans Mankel writes, this deranged dimwit helped write the Mueller report, and we're only finding out now. Wait till you listen to this woman.
Question any... Did you question any of the sources that Steele cited?
Oh, that I can't remember.
He basically only had one real source.
Yeah.
The guy who was charged in the Durham investigation. And
this is the author, one of the authors of the Mueller report. Did you investigate the sources?
Acquitted, but it's not like there was a network of sources.
Yeah,
that
FBI doesn't ever have a network of sources. They will get, and they are really good.
But this was Steele, not the FBI.
Oh, Steele, yeah.
Steele, yeah. His.
I mean, I think what's scarier here is that these people had any level of power at all. Okay? I mean, the damage that this woman did with writing the report, she just out to lunch mentally.
Yeah.
No, but at the same time, I look back now at the Steele dossier and I'm wondering, did we miss something?
What do you think?
Maybe.
Why do you...
anything? Something in particular that gives you that view?
But because Trump wants a third term, anti-constitutional. Trump originally wanted to take away any kind of help for the Ukraines, which favors also Putin. Trump is acting at a minimum like a dictator, and he's acting like Putin. And so that's why I'm reserving my thoughts on that now until I can figure out if there's any more information out there.
Okay, well, at least we know your bias. Yeah. So, anyway, let's keep going. We got another take here.
A group within our breaking news, evidence to prosecute Barack Obama and all his little associates that were a part of Russia hoax was found in what's called a burn bag. Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, found this burn bag, and it makes me a little bit more certain that there is a group within our organization, within our government, teaching them and telling them to do certain things, to push an agenda on what's best for them. The deep state, the elites, the establishment. The Democrats call it the 1%. There is a higher power, not God, they think they're God, but there is a higher organization, a higher group within our government pushing their own agenda. And then what they try to do is whenever they're getting close to getting caught, they try to just manipulate documents. Take the Jeff Epstein thing, for example. If Donald Trump was on the Jeff Epstein list, he would have been prosecuted in 2016, 2020, 2024. And now that the FBI told Donald Trump that his name is listed in the files, I wonder how that happened. A higher power manipulated the documents like they're doing right now. Breaking news, evidence to prosecute Barack.
Let's keep going. Check this out. Here's another take. We're going to get President Trump talking about Hillary in a second.
Accountable for, I hate to say this, but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016. We must, absolutely must, hold every one of these criminals accountable for the crimes that they committed. They are the most heinous crimes committed in American history. James Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Biden was in the meeting in July 28th in the Oval Office. They briefed Barack Obama on Hillary Clinton's plan to, quote, tie Trump to Russia collusion lies. It consumed our national discourse for 5 years. It undermined a sitting, duly elected president. It sabotaged administration. It framed a three-star general. It destroyed and ripped this country apart. We had a constitutional crisis, the likes of which I don't think any American can fully comprehend. It is atrocious, and every single one of them must be held accountable.
Yeah, and
I hate to say this,
lock
but
them up, every single one. And here's President Trump talking about why he didn't think locking up Hillary during his first term was appropriate, but now he feels a little different.
They say put this in.
Tulsi Gabbard, your DNI, has just released all this incredible declassified information about the Russia hoax, which you already always said was a hoax.
We knew anyway.
But now she's referred former President Barack Obama, CIA Director John Brennan, James Clapper, Jim Comey from the FBI, to the Department of Justice for criminal investigation for potential charges. Do you hope that... And Obama.
Who was the ringleader, yeah.
Yes. And, I mean, he should be thanking you because you got presidential immunity.
Yeah, he's probably covered by that. It's okay. That's all right. That's the way it's supposed to be, I guess. But no, what they've done is so bad for this country. And it really started right at the 2016 election. And there's a difference when you know it and when you know it and it's all written down for you. I mean, it's all there. It's right there. The orders, the memos, the whole thing is right there.
Were you surprised when you saw it all laid out?
I would have thought they maybe would have thrown it out. I don't know. They handed it. They say, put this in highly classified. It was in highly classified, in areas that normally you wouldn't get to. But I guess when you put it in there, it's a file, right? And they got to it. And it's unbelievable. When you read it, it's unbelievable. A real hoax, it's a real hoax. If they would devote their time to winning elections or if they devote their time to greatness, making America great again, it would be because there's a certain genius to it, but it's also sick. I mean, they're sick. And you look at Hillary Clinton, you look at all of the terrible things with the Steele dossier, and you know it better. Nobody's covered it better than you, to be honest with you. I mean, you're sitting here so innocently talking to me like, oh, it's wonderful. You know the story better than I do. But it's incredible. It's all there now. It's in writing. And Tulsi's done a great job. You know, there were some people that really wanted Tulsi. They thought she was going to do a fantastic job. And when you look, a lot of people would not have found it. They wouldn't have found it to be politically correct to find it. Okay. It would be easier not to.
And she's tough.
And she's tough and she's smart. And she did. She went deep into the files and she found it. Mm. And what it says is just terrible. And look, this was an attempted coup. Mm. It was a failed coup. I mean, here we are, him talking as president of the United States. So you almost say, how did it happen?
Yeah.
There are people that say it's a miracle in a way that I was able to go through all these agencies. And this is before I was president. And they did the Steele dossier, which was a total
What
scam.
a joke. Didn't your wife say she knew it was a hoax from the beginning?
Well, she did. She said, that's not you.
Because it was so dirty.
Well, there was a couple of things in there. And she said, well, on that one, I tell you what, it's not you. And it wasn't me. No, it was all made up stuff.
Yeah.
It was all made up.
Do you feel angry now?
Yeah, I do a little bit.
Yeah.
So, we had Hillary Clinton down to whatever we wanted to do with her. And I felt it was inappropriate. She's the wife of a president. She was a Secretary of State. And we could have done a very big number.
Yeah.
And I said, we don't want to be doing that. Let's, put it into the country and not the concept of putting her in jail, indicting her, all the things that you have to do. It's tough stuff. And I said, we don't want to do that. In fact, you remember I made speeches when I mentioned her name. They started lock her up. Yeah. And I said, no, this is after we won. We just won. And I said,
because you wanted the country
we have to
heal.
Get back to, we want to heal. And yet they did it to me.
Yeah.
So I feel differently. I mean, I'm a human being. I have my feelings too. And so I feel differently about it.
Tulsi Gabbard.
I feel differently about it. Yeah, time to lock her up. Check this out. Here we have from Megyn Kelly. Watch Obama administration official testify about high crimes.
We do have the Obama soundbite here. Well, it's former Department of Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson talking about Obama approving that statement that Russia was behind the DNC hack, even though he knew that there was at best a low confidence assessment to that effect. Correct. Here it is in SOT 55 when Jay Johnson testified before the House Intelligence Committee.
On October 7th, we issued a very clear declaration based upon what we knew at the time, that the Russian government was behind the hacks of the DNC. The October 7th statement was an administration statement. That was the result of an intelligence community assessment. The president approved the statement. I know he wanted us to make the statement. So that was very definitely a statement by the United States government, not just Jim Clapper and me.
But he doesn't reveal that the intelligence that had been given to Obama was low confidence, and then somehow Obama interferes and we wind up with a high confidence assessment that they did this, and it does not appear any additional information was received to change it from low to high.
And that latter point about no additional information being received, that's now documented in the House Intelligence Committee report that's just been released by Tulsi Gabbard, where they say the only new intelligence that came in, their words are, it's quote, paltry. So most of the intelligence that was produced for the ISA was collected before the election at a time when the FBI and the NSA were saying that they had low confidence. And yeah, Jay Johnson's saying there this was an administration document. He's saying it speaks in the name of the intelligence community, but that's false because the two premier agencies that were best placed to assess this, the FBI and the NSA, they were dissenting on the allegation that Jay Johnson and Obama put out publicly. And by the way, meanwhile, and the recent CIA review by John Ratcliffe made this point, other key intelligence agencies were excluded altogether. So the Defense Intelligence Agency of the Pentagon and the State Department's Intelligence Bureau, the INR, they were completely excluded from the process. And the CIA review by Ratcliffe noted that this was odd, especially if you're talking about the actions of an adversary, Russia. Why are you excluding the Pentagon's intelligence agency and the State Department, which would presumably have a lot to contribute? So you have overruling and ignoring the dissenting view of the NSA and the dissenting view of the NSA and the FBI, and completely excluding the Pentagon and the State Department.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll put a pin in that one and see, because it also does raise questions. If the FBI actually wanted to help participate in a Hillary Clinton lie that Russia interfered, then why would they have been coming forward saying, we don't think they hacked the DNC. We only have low confidence, and we're gonna dissent from anything that tries to pin it on them.
So, I mean, what you just heard, they siloed the intelligence so that other intelligence agencies could not weigh in on the topic. Why would they do that? It's because they would have agreed that it was all BS. Pollster Mark Mitchell confirms 70% of Americans are demanding arrests over the Russiagate hoax. Listen to this.
It is critical for intelligence to get a question about arrests to, and ultimately, I think it comes down to people want arrests. We don't have a question about arrests for Epstein, but we do for should officials who are involved in manipulating intelligence to get Trump be criminally prosecuted. 57% yes, 26% no. And then these are previews from a question we're in the field with now. This is getting back to the Obama stuff. Agree or disagree with this statement about the manipulation of intelligence in the Obama administration? Accountability has to take place. It is critical for the survival of our country that people who perpetrated such crimes are held accountable. Talking about Crossfire Hurricane, that's a Mike Flynn quote. 48% strongly agree, 20% somewhat agree. That's a 70% number. And that gets back to the 30% trust the federal government. 70% want this system fixed. And ultimately, I think
we do. And it's not going to be fixed unless there are actual arrests. What they did to President Trump, they should do exactly to Barack Obama, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, all of them. So the previously undisclosed secure room was a SCIF. Director Kash Patel uncovered thousands of sensitive documents tied to the origins of Trump-Russia investigation hidden in multiple burn bags inside previously undisclosed secure room SCIF at the FBI headquarters. And only effing morons. Schiff is a traitor and part of the Hillary Obama ongoing conspiracy to thwart the will of the people and mount a coup against the sitting president. He was censured in the House for lying about Russiagate and giving false testimony to Congress. Then the California Libdiots elected him to the Senate from San Francisco, a well-known communist Democrat captured state in Sanctuary City. He is as untrustworthy as they come. Yeah, censured by Congress for lying repeatedly, pardoned by Biden for crimes against the people. Adam Schiff needs to be on that list. Let's see, here we have Tulsi Gabbard. Let's listen in. 7 hours ago.
Assessment. Give me your response to what we heard from former President Obama there. He's saying that none of this makes any sense, that this is a distraction. What do you say to that?
It's the art of deflection coming from former President Obama, as well as his friends who are still in Congress today, and Senator Warner and Congressman Jim Himes, really all basically saying that exact same statement, which doesn't actually address the issue that was revealed in great detail in the over 100 documents that we released last week, in the documents that we will be releasing later this week, that point to the undeniable fact that you laid out in your introduction to this segment, is that the intelligence community had one assessment, that Russia did not have the intent or capability to try to impact the outcome of the U.S. election leading up to Election Day. The same assessment was made after Donald Trump was elected by the American people as president in 2016, defeating Hillary Clinton. And it wasn't until after that pulled President's Daily Brief document that you referenced that the Principals Committee was called in the National Security Council. And President Obama then directed Obama's DNI James Clapper to lead the effort to create this new intelligence community assessment that detailed not if, but how Moscow attempted to influence the outcome of the U.S. election. So this is the thing that I think people should pay attention to, is neither the message from President Obama's office, neither the statements coming from Democrats in Congress today and their friends in the propaganda media, none of them are addressing this fact that there was a shift, a 180-degree shift from the intelligence community's assessment leading up to the election to the one that President Obama directed be produced after Donald Trump won the election, that completely contradicted those assessments that had come previously. The second thing I want to address that's very important, Laura, is that you in the clip that you played, you saw John Brennan, James Clapper, James Comey stated with high confidence this January intelligence community assessment that they drafted at the direction of President Obama. The fact is that they used already discredited information like the Steele dossier. They knew it was discredited at that time, yet they used it as a source for this document that they claim to have high confidence in. They used intelligence that some of these intelligence community professionals rejected previously because of the lack of credibility and the lack of the ability to vet with any kind of confidence whether or not that information or intelligence was accurate and could be used for an assessment. There's a long laundry list of facts and intelligence reporting that directly contradict the statement coming from President Obama's office and those who are trying to deflect away from what actually happened, which was after Donald Trump was elected, led by President Obama, there was an effort to create a document that would serve as a foundation for what would be a years-long coup against President Trump, therefore trying to subvert the will of the American people who sent him to the White House in 2016.
Give me your...
So this is huge, folks. This is really huge. And if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this changes everything. For years, they called us conspiracy theorists for saying the Russia hoax was a coup. Now we have physical proof sitting in burn bags, hidden in a room the FBI never disclosed to Congress. So think about that. A secret SCIF inside FBI headquarters filled with evidence of treason marked for destruction. Now we have it. Comey, Brennan, Clapper, Schiff, their names are all over these documents. And you know, they don't just lie to America. They try to overthrow a duly elected president and then burn the evidence. This is not speculation anymore. It is a documented conspiracy at the highest levels of government. So here's my question. Should everyone named in these burn bags face treason charges? Yes or no? Drop your answers in the comments. And while you're fired up, check out our merch shop linked below. Wear the truth they're trying to hide and trigger a liberal today at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.